I colored this using 24 karat gold. You're holding the coloring book like you've held 100 others. Same weight, same paper texture. But the moment your brush touches the page, everything feels different. That's because you're not using watercolor or colored pencil. You're using actual gold. Real 24 karat gold suspended in a medium so fine it glides across fiber like the page was waiting for it. Most people don't know this exists. The ones who do are spending $400 on a single bottle. Let me show you what happens when you do. 3 years ago, a woman named Margaret sat at her kitchen table in Portland, Oregon. She wasn't a professional artist. She wasn't even a casual dabbler. She was a nurse with arthritis in both hands, and her therapist recommended coloring books as a way to quiet the racing thoughts that kept her awake at 3 in the morning. Coloring books had exploded by 2016. Suddenly they were everywhere, marketed as mindfulness for adults, stress relief in book form. Margaret bought one, then 5, then 12. By 2019, she'd completed over 80 coloring books, each one methodically filled in with the same brands of pencils and markers. The ritual worked. The noise in her head got quieter. But one night, scrolling through Instagram at 2 a.m., the time when all purchases feel urgent, she found a video of someone coloring with gold leaf. Not imitation, not foil. Actual suspended metallic particles. The finished page was luminous. It had depth. It had something the flat perfection of her other books didn't have. She ordered the set that night. When the gold arrived, it came in a small glass bottle with a brush so delicate it looked like it would dissolve. The instructions were vague. Mix with water, it said. Apply in thin layers. She opened to a mandala pattern she'd been saving, an intricate design she'd been too nervous to ruin with something irreversible. She mixed the gold with water the way the instructions suggested and painted her first stroke. The gold didn't sit on top of the paper, it soaked into it. The fiber of the page absorbed the metallic particles, and when the water dried, what remained was gold that seemed to exist within the paper itself, not on it. When she tilted the page under light, the mandala didn't shimmer and reflect. It glowed from inside the page, like the pattern had always been there, waiting to be revealed. She cried. She posted a photo on Instagram. 1,200 people liked it. 50 asked where to buy it. This is where the industry split. On one side, there's what most coloring book enthusiasts do. They use the tools they've always used. Colored pencils, Caran d'Ache, Faber-Castell, Holbein, because they're reliable and they layer beautifully. Markers, for speed and saturation. Sometimes watercolor if the paper can handle it. These are the orthodox tools. They're accessible. A quality set of pencils runs $30 to $80. You can buy them in any art supply store. The results are predictable. You know exactly what you're getting before you start. Then there's the edge. The people who discovered that coloring books aren't just about the ritual anymore. They're about transformation. Literal transformation of the material object. Gold ink, the kind with actual 24 karat particles, costs differently. A single bottle runs $60 to $150, depending on the brand. But here's what happens when you use it. Your work becomes precious. Not metaphorically, physically. The moment you apply gold to the page, the book's material value changes. You can feel it in your hands. A plain coloring book costs $12 to $20. Add real gold, and psychologically, it becomes something you'd never throw away. It becomes an heirloom. The companies making this gold know exactly what they're doing. Ziller & Ziller, a German manufacturer that's been making metallic pigments since 1987, started marketing their gold suspension to high-end coloring book creators in 2021. Their copy didn't say beautiful gold leaf for your hobby. It said, your coloring is an investment now. They understood something that colored pencil companies don't, the psychology of permanence. A pencil drawing can be erased. A gold-infused page cannot. The moment you commit the gold to the fiber, you've created something irreplaceable. It changes the emotional weight of the entire activity. This is crucial, and almost no one talks about it. Coloring books exploded in popularity because they offered adults a guilt-free space to play. Your inner critic shuts up when you're filling in a shape. But the relief is temporary. You finish the book, you close it, and you're back to your regular life. With gold, you finish the book, and you have an artifact. A physical proof that you spent time creating something beautiful. Your nervous system doesn't just get a 2-hour rest, it gets a permanent monument. But there's a cost embedded in this, and it's not just financial. The moment you introduce real gold into coloring, the activity stops being purely about the process and starts being about the product. This is subtle. It happens in your body before you can think about it. You're no longer coloring for the silence, you're coloring for the result. Every stroke carries pressure. What if you make a mistake? What if you waste the gold? Suddenly, the thing that was supposed to quiet your mind becomes a high-stakes performance. The very ritual that was supposed to cure anxiety becomes anxiety-inducing. You're now producing precious objects. You're now responsible for not ruining them. Some coloring book artists have reported that switching to gold made their hands tense. Their breathing became shallower. They'd pause before each stroke, measuring it, evaluating it. The meditative flow state that made coloring valuable in the first place evaporated. They were too aware of the cost of the medium to lose themselves in the motion. And yet, they kept using it, because something else was happening. Every page they completed with gold became a conversation piece. A friend would visit. Did you make this? Yes. With real gold? Yes. The social value was undeniable. They'd created something that wasn't just personally meaningful. It was impressive to other people. It was evidence of refinement, of patience, of wealth, even if just in the form of one expensive bottle of gold ink. Here's where the trap reveals itself. You've traded internal peace for external validation. The coloring book was supposed to be selfish. It was supposed to be the one thing you did purely for yourself, with no audience, no judgment. But the moment you introduce a material that transforms the end product into something impressive, you've turned it into a performance. You're not coloring anymore. You're creating content. The book becomes a photograph waiting to happen. The gold isn't making you more peaceful. It's making you visible. This isn't necessarily bad. Creation that's shared has value. Community has value. But it's not what coloring books promised. And if you started with colored pencils because you needed to disappear into something safe, gold doesn't solve that. Gold solves a different problem. It solves the problem of making your invisible work visible. The people who thrive with gold ink aren't the ones who needed coloring for healing. They're the ones who needed coloring for permission to make beautiful things. For them, gold is the right tool. It's the amplifier that turns a quiet activity into a legitimate creative practice. These are often people who grew up being told their art wasn't real, unless it was painting or sculpture. A coloring book felt too close to play, too close to childhood, too close to something dismissible. Gold made it real. Gold made it countable. Gold made it worthy. But here's the final twist. The people selling you this gold are betting on this psychology. They know that the moment you introduce a premium material, the activity shifts from being about the experiencer to being about the product. They've bottled that shift, and they're selling it as luxury. And it works. It works so perfectly that coloring book communities have stratified into tiers, just like every other creative medium. There are now serious colorists, the ones using gold, the ones investing in artist-grade materials. And there are the rest of them, using consumer-grade pencils, told subtly that their work is amateur by comparison. Margaret, the nurse from Portland, never sold her work. She never photographed the pages with gold. She kept them in a box under her bed, and on nights when her mind wouldn't quiet, she'd take them out and look at them. The gold didn't glitter under bedroom light. It glowed. And that glow was just for her. She'd made something beautiful with her own hands, using a material so expensive most people will never touch it, and no one would ever know. The books would stay under her bed until she died, and then her children would find them and maybe understand, for a moment, what their mother needed so badly, that she saved up for gold. The question you need to ask yourself isn't whether gold makes your coloring better. It's whether you're coloring for the silence or for the proof that you existed. To get a free coloring book, just click the link in the description. Instantly download your pages in 60 seconds.